then on the wings, it is an interesting. And it's such a shame that you haven't got Saint-Maximin fit for this game, because he'd be up against, you would think, Ashley Young, who, for all he's a good player, he is slightly letting on a bit. And, I'd give him a good go at outpacing him, maybe. Or maybe that's a little bit optimistic. But Saint-Maximin certainly would. So whoever plays out on that left side is going to have a really interesting battle against Ashley Young. And you want it to be someone who's direct. You want it to be someone who likes running with the ball.
Gordon's quick,
Yeah. Do we think it will be Gordon?
Well, I've got a feeling it could be Gordon. I would like to think it would be Gordon. But, what does he do? Trying to second guess him. Does he go with his normal side? Will he go with just Isaac up front? And will he play Joelinton in the centre? I know where we think he should play, but where does he think he should play? Will Joelinton go out left wide and then go with the usual three in midfield? I would hope not. I would put Joelinton in and go with Gordon. But will he start Gordon, having given him a bit of a cold shoulder at the end of the 90 minutes at Brentford? It's interesting. I would tend, if it was me, to go with Joelinton, to go with Isaac as a one up top, although I would personally like to see the two together, and play Gordon, who's quick, against Ashley Young.
I would. So as I say, Joelinton in the middle, Gordon on the right potentially, and then maybe Isaac starting over on the left with Wilson up front, because I think what Isaac did was essentially he just had a kind of a free role in that setting off. He was all over the but
you can only play Wilson as a centre forward, can't you? Through the middle centre forward. You can ask Isaac to do other things, but Wilson is what he is, an old-fashioned through the middle, back to goal, run the channels, bring other people into play, centre forward. So Isaac's the one that's got to. And I would love to see Isaac play out there, because it would mean Isaac starting with Wilson. And they're both in a hot goal scoring streak. And who else is in the team, taking the fact that Miggy is out the team? So I would love that to happen. I just somehow don't think the way Eddie Howe talks about the pair of them, that he'll start them both in a front three at Villa, not to start with. But I would be happy to see Isaac playing on the left side and the other guy in the right, and Wilson through the middle.
But if he does indeed keep the shape he usually plays, let's not forget Elliot Anderson, because he came off the bench against Brentford, arguably should have had a goal against Brentford. It was an easy save in the end. But again, looking lively. There's a lot of discussion about what the future holds for Elliot Anderson. Does he stay next season or does he go out on loan? Personally, I'd like to see him stay and get a little bit more game time, because if you send him out on loan, you've then got to go out and buy a player at his level. Well, what's the point in that? Because then he'll be back in a year's time, probably haven't impressed, and then you've then got a player who's just as good as that. So you know what I mean? I'd keep him, but I wouldn't be against him starting actually on Saturday against Villa on the left.
No, I'm a big Anderson fan, as you know, but I don't think there's a cat in what's its chance of him starting on Saturday.
No,
from the manager's point of view, no. Not from the ability, etc. He's not going to start him before Gordon or Murphy. I think at this stage he tends to go with people that he trusts, that's got a bit of experience. But Anderson's got a fabulous future. I wouldn't get rid of him next season whatsoever. It'll be another step in the right direction for Elliot next season. He will start and break into the Newcastle side, whether it's later this season or much more likely next season, wide left. But he'll end up as a centre midfielder when he gets a bit more experience on him and a bit more Premier League toughness on him. I think he'll play as a centre midfielder, which is what he is really. But I think he'll play wide left is a more gentle introduction. And he's got a terrific future. I don't think he will start. I don't mean he shouldn't. I just don't think he will start at Aston Villa. I think he's back of the grade at the moment a little bit. He needs to get on earlier to get more time, like there was substitutions at half time. If he got on at half time after 60 minutes quite regularly, that would put a lot of experience under his belt rather than the last 5 or 10 minutes. But you know what? Eddie can do what he likes at Villa because everything he touches turns to gold at the moment. And you know what? The thing he won't do is mess about with the back four because he dislikes doing that. He'll play the back four as a back four for the rest of this season until the summer comes, and he might change something in the summer. Well, in fact, he will. But he wants the back four to thoroughly understand themselves inside out. Have you noticed we're talking about all the changes? We never talk about a change at the back because there isn't going to be a change at the back because he doesn't want to change at the back. And his simple answer is look at that league table, which says what? 20 goals conceded in 28. Nobody's anywhere near that. So that will stay the same, and the changes are elsewhere.